get it from all sides.
I said I really didn't have it. I didn't have much of a response, this once in a while. I don't want to say, you know what? No one shows up because he would go through the roof.
Yeah. He's a nice guy.
Oh yeah. He's a family friend too. His sister and everything. So it's not like he's. Yeah, Gail. Yeah. So. Yeah, generally we have him over for the holidays and stuff, but it's always something. But what can I do?
No, well, You know what? You don't. It could be a good move already. Eventually. Hey, how you doing?
Good.
How you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good.
Good. How's your sister-in-law?
My sister-in-law. We took her to a psychiatrist. No. To actually a regular doctor. Put her on.
Okay, better.
So we'll see.
Hopefully this will
I think a lot
create
of
a little.
A lot of it is up here.
All right.
Hey,
well, hopefully
Morris.
that'll take a lot of. Look who's here. Look who's back. Meanwhile, thank you for introducing me to what is his name? Because we ran into each other. The rabbi from. Nice young man.
Nice guy.
Good. Keep including them. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, we got it. Hey, listen.
All right. She's back in town, so it's enough.
I know, enough with all that. Sure. With all that mischief. Huh? Oh, Paulette? Oh, I'll say hello. Oh, I'm so Well, that is a good move. Okay.
Shabbat Shalom. Where's Bitzer?
What do you think she is?
Oh,
Hey, Don, how are you?
I don't know.
Glad to know.
Good Shabbos, stranger.
Stranger?
I haven't seen you in 2 weeks.
Oh, well.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu
Someplace to go.
olam
Testing. All right, that's on.
mitzvotav lehitatef b'tzitzit. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hey, Bob. So good to see you. Da, 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 da. Good to see you all. Hi, Sandy. Good to see you. Who's that over there? Is that Ruth? No, who's that? I can't. Edith? Dina. Very good. Okay, please take your seats. So, good. Bob and Dodie, you're going to be lighting blessing the candles and the wine, the Manischewitz tonight. Okay? Excellent. I just wanted to give you, not right now. I'll call you up when we're ready. So Dodie and Bob have returned from the Windy City. It's so good to see you. I know you watch every Friday night practically. I see you on Facebook Or no, actually, you text me. You watch on the streaming, which is nice. And well, it's an interesting week. The President of the United States will be attending a conference on climate change in Glasgow, Scotland. And I think 127 heads of state will be there. And whoa. I wonder what's going on here.
Maybe it's near your phone or something?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. I think that's a little better. Thank you. I think Jeff is... whoa, Jeff, can you turn that down? Thank you. Okay, so, they say this is the last chance, the last best chance that we have of addressing the very serious issue of climate change, and we have to keep the rise in the temperature to 1.5 degrees Celsius. We can't let it get higher than that. If we remain at the same rate of atmospheric and oceanic heating, we will be at 2.7, which would be devastating for the planet. And that's where we will be at in 2030, just 9 years from now. So let's hope and pray that the leaders of the world finally do something to address this very serious issue of climate change. We just saw what happened in California with what was it called? A tornado bomb, or it was a typhoon. Never hit. That doesn't hit California. We had something similar up in New England, and so let's pray. Let's pray that this, and let's be optimistic that finally our leaders are going to do something to address this very serious issue. Now, is there some kind of good news that you would like to share with us this week? Good things that have happened? Besides Dodie and Bob returning to South Florida, what else is happening? What else is happening? Marilyn started off the week with the toothache, but it turned out it was fine. Nothing too serious.
That's
Thank
good
God.
news.
Baruch Hashem, as they say. Well, we have lots to celebrate, and we're going to celebrate Shabbat together tonight. So if you think of something you want to share with us, now it'll have to wait till the Oneg, but that's fine. Okay, start us off with a nigun, would you?
All right. This is our favorite, one of my favorites, by Shlomo Krobach. La 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 Everybody can join in. Come on.
would you please come forward and bless the candles and the Kiddush wine? The candle blessing can be found on page 120.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Okay, Bob, if you would be so kind.
Page 122, we'll start. And there was evening, and there was morning, the sixth day. Page 124, if you will all join me at the bottom. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May it welcome all who have cared to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut up pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May this synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, Shabbat kodsho b'yahavav ratzon hinchin lanu, zikaron lema'aseh Breshit, ki hu yom techila mikra'ei kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim, ki banu v'acharta v'yotanu kidashta mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha b'ahava u'ratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
L'chaim.
How sweet it is.
Ah, yes. So watching on Facebook, but this doesn't include the people watching on our streaming service, we have Rachel and Cappy and Marlene and Nancy and Joni and Bonnie and Agnes and George and Aaron and Sheila and William and Renee. So they all are wishing you a Shabbat Shalom. We continue with Hine Matov on 128.
Hine matov u'manayim, shevet hakim gam yakad, Hine matov umanayim shevet hakim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet hakim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet hakim gam yachad. Come on, everybody. Hine matov. There you go. Hine matov umanayim shevet hakim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet hakim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet hakim gam yachad. Going directly down from there. Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat shalom. How lovely today is. How lovely today is. Shabbat shalom. Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat shalom. Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat shalom. Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat shalom.
Cantor, would you do Ki Ishmera, that beautiful song that originated in Baghdad?
Yep. Richie, remember that one? Ki Eshmera Shabbat. Richie's great. He doesn't have the music. This was sung by the Jews of Baghdad. Ki Eshmera Shabbat El Yishmereni. Ki Eshmera Shabbat El Yishmereni. Oti li'olami. I need my glasses.
Oti.
He threw me a surprise. Come on, Rabbi, pick it up. I need your glasses.
Okay.
Ki Eshmera Shabbat. Let's see. Better. Thank you. Ki Eshmera Shabbat El Yishmereni. Oti li'ol meyad beino veini. Oti li'ol meyad beino veini. Ki Eshmera Shabbat El Yishmereni. Ki Eshmera Shabbat El Yishmereni. Oti li'ol meyad beino veini. Oti li'ol meyad beino veini. Thank you. Marcelo, you remember that one from Baghdad? He's from Baghdad. He's our friend
Hey,
from
we
Baghdad.
have a Baghdadi. Yay!
There he is. Okay.
Wherever you go in this world, you'll find our Jewish brother or sister, right? Yeah.
So he grew up singing that, I'm
You
sure.
grew up singing that. That was for you.
Okay.
We continue with Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash. Sing a new song.
Shiru Ladonai.
Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash.
Right.
Sing to God a new song.
Page 131, Psalm 96. שירו לאדוני, שירו שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני, שירו שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו, שירו לאדוני, שירו שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני, שירו שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו, שירו לאדוני, שירו שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני, שירו שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו.
And now, Lecha Dodi on page 138.
And we will sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 Lecha Dodi. Ay, 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 likrat kalam. Ay, 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 b'nei Shabbat. Ay, 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 nikabla. Shamor v'zakor b'dibor echad. Ishme'anu el hamiyukad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad. L'shemu tiferet v'letehila. Ay, 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 Lecha Dodi. Ay, 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 likrat kalam. Ay, 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 b'nei Shabbat. Ay, 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 nikabla. Likrat Shabbat leku v'nelcha. Ki hi mekor habraka. Merosh mikedem nesuka. Sof mahaseh b'machshava tequila. Ay, 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 Lecha Dodi. Ay, 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 likrat kalam. Ay, 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 b'nei Shabbat. Ay, 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 nikabla. Hitoreri, hitoreri. Kiva horech kumi ori. Uri, uri, shir daberi. Kavod Adonai, Alayich nigla.
Ay, 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 Lecha Dodi.
Ay, 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 likrat kalam. Ay, 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 b'nei Shabbat. Ay, 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 nikabla. Boi v'shalom ateret bala. Gam b'simcha uvetzolha. Tok emunei am segula. Boi chala, boi chala.
Please be seated.
Ay, 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 Lecha Dodi. Ay, 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 likrat
Kala.
Ay, 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 Pnei Shabbat. Ay, 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 Nikabla. Ay, 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 Lekadodim. Ay, 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 Likrat Kalam. Ay, 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 Pnei Shabbat. Ay, 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 Nikabla.
We continue with the Chatzi Kaddish on page 144.
Yitkadav, Yitkadash, Shemei Rabba.
Amen.
Biamadi Varakarute, Biamlik Makute, Beka Yekon, Yomekon, Uvka Yedekon, Be Israel. Bagala, Bagala, Uvizmahan Karivimeru.
Amen.
Yehesh me Rabba Mevorak, Leholam Ulam Me'amaya.
Yitbarach.
Yitbarak, Yishtabak, Vitpahar, Vitromam, Yitnasei, Vitadar, Vitalev, Vitalah, Shemei de Kunesha. Le'ela min koberchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran b'yama v'imru. Amen.
We rise for the Baruch Hu on page 146.
Lai, 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 lai.
Lie, 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 lie.
Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Bareku et Adonai HaMevorach. Bareku et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach.
Nori's boyfriend's name. Tell me when you get a chance.
Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai.
And now on page 148, let's read in the Hebrew. Let's read in the Hebrew the blessing for the evening. 148. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher b'dvaro ma'ariv aravim b'chokhma potech sha'arim uvitvuna meshanei itim umachalif et hazmanim umisader et kochavim b'mishmarotehem barakia kirtzono bore yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or uma'avir yom umevi layla umavdil ben Yom uvein laila Adonai tzvaot shemo el chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam ve'ed. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim. And now, Scott, would you lead us on page 150?
Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch
Baruch
atah.
Adonai,
Right,
Ohev
we'll have
Amo
all
Yisrael.
We rise once more for the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed.
We continue with V'ahavta on page 154.
V'ahavta el Adonai Elohecha, v'chol avavcha, v'chol nafshecha, u'v'chol meodecha, v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele, asher anoki mitzavka, hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shiftecha b'beitecha, v'lechtecha b'derek, uv'shokvecha uv'kumecha, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים אלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Now on page 158, Micha Mocha.
All right, this is for you, Nori. Nori's sponsoring our music tonight. She's from Detroit. We're going to do a little Motown. And I'm in touch with the gospel choir. They're coming back in February. And we'll do this one. Mi kamocha v'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, mi kamocha v'elim Adonai, nora tehilot osefele. Who is like thee, God Almighty? Who is like thee among the strong? Oh, who is like thee, God Almighty? Mikamoka Adonai, Mikamoka Bahelim Adonai, Mikamoka Nehedar Bakodesh, Mikamoka Bahelim Adonai, Nora Tehilot Osefele. Who is like thee, God Almighty? Who is like thee among the strong? Oh, who is like thee, Lord Almighty? Mikamoka Adonai.
The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages, as a covenant for all time. It is a sign for all time between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day he ceased from work and was refreshed. Dallas, come on up. Come on up and help us. Here he comes. Stand right over there. Okay, you're going to lead the congregation in Vishamru. Anyone who wants to stand up and join with Dallas in acting out Vishamru, you're welcome to do so. Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Come on, Dallas.
Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit.
Now point to yourself and point to God.
Beini b'nei Yisrael oti li'olam, oti li'olam, oti li'olam. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam.
6 days, remember?
Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai
Point at the sky.
et hashamayim
Now the earth, haaretz.
ve'et haaretz ve'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ubayom ha-shvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Ve'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam.
Thank you, Dallas. You can go back and be with your grandmother now. There he goes. Please rise for the tefillah on page 166.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu b'imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Vekonei HaKol Vezocher Chazdei Avot V'Imot Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem Lema'an Shemo B'Yahava Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mekayim Eitim Atarav Lahoshia Mashiv HaRuach Morid HaGashem Mekakel Chayim Bechesed Mekayim Eitim Berachamim Rabbim Somek Noflim Berofei Cholim Umatir Asurim Umekayim emunato lishenei afad mikamo kama gevurot Umido melach, melech meimit umekaye,
Umatzmiach Yeshua.
v'ne'emanat halahakayod metim, Baruch atah Adonai, mekaye hametim.
Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh kadoshim b'chol yom yahalalu chatzela. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. And we say,
Amen.
Amen. Please be seated. Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer, wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, and in all lands. You are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai she'otcha levatcha b'yirah na'avod. And we continue with Shalom Rav.
Page 178. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atah melech Adon lekol hashalom, ki atah melech Adon, lekol hashalom, shalom Rav Yisrael amcha tasim leolam, shalom Rav Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'kol het u'b'kol sha'a b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Tasim leolam.
Let's take a few moments to feel Minuchat Shabbat, that is Sabbath rest. Put your feet flat on the floor and maybe allow your eyes to close. And bring your attention to your breath. Just notice how the breath enters and exits your body without any effort, without any conscious effort or intention on your part. It's a gift from God. We rush around during the week, and sometimes we get ahead of our souls. We leave our spirits, our neshama, behind us as we're running to do this or that. We're thinking a mile a minute of what the next task might be. But on Shabbat, we slow down. We slow down. No place to go right now. No problems to solve. Nothing to judge. We just have to be. And we allow our soul, we allow our neshama to catch up with us. Notice, with every breath that you take in, notice how it relaxes and nourishes, refreshes every part of your body. Take a deep breath and release it.
Ose shalom bimromav, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'alko Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, amen. Ose shalom bimromav, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'alko Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'alko Yisrael, 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 ve'imru, amen.
And Bonnie Goner is watching, and Joanne Bornstein. I think she's up in Parkland now.
Yep.
She's
Yep.
watching. And Darren Rubel and Brent Speckler have joined us as well. And all of them, and Giselle as well, and all of them are sending their Shabbat wishes to us. It's so nice to see Bob and Nori. Were you up in Michigan? So nice to have you back. And Damon and Francine. I notice you're always watching. You've been watching for months. It's so good to see you in person. Wow, what a treat. You know, I was talking to a friend of mine, Rabbi Peter Grumbacher, up in, we had a little video chat, a little Zoom talk, and he's up in Wilmington, Delaware, not too far from Philadelphia.
Yep.
And we got talking about some of the funny things congregants have said to us over the years. Sometimes they will say something, especially kids will say something, it's a little shocking. So he was talking to a kid, a little girl, and he said, what's your favorite part of the service? And she said, the end. And he went, what, the end? There, Bob is putting up his hand. And he said, well, what's it about the end of the services that you like? She says, it's then when we get to hug each other.
Oh, that's nice.
Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that what a congregation is about? She was really wise. That's what makes a congregation. We've had to hug each other virtually. Now we're getting to the point where we can start hugging each other a little bit, actually, physically. Well, this week's Torah portion, Chayei Sarah, has a lot to do with the Jewish value of chesed, which means kindness, deeds of loving kindness. Now, I found a story in a collection of essays on ethics by the late Rabbi Jonathan Sachs that so beautifully illustrates the Jewish value of chesed, of acts of loving kindness. He writes, in 1966, an 11-year-old black boy moved with his parents and family to a white neighborhood in Washington, D.C. Sitting with his two brothers and two sisters on the front step of the house, he waited to see how they would be greeted. they were not. Passers-by turned to look at them, but no one gave them a smile or even a glance of recognition. All the fearful stories he'd heard about how whites treated blacks seemed to be coming true. Years later, writing about those first few days in their new home, he says, "I knew we were not welcome here. I knew we were not to be liked here. I knew we would have no friends here. I knew we should not have moved here." As he was thinking those thoughts, a white woman coming home from work passed on the other side of the street of the road. She turned to the children and with a broad smile she said, "Welcome." Disappearing into the house, she emerged minutes later with a tray laden with drinks and cream cheese and jelly sandwiches, which she brought over to the children, making them feel at home. That moment, the young man later wrote, changed his life. It gave him a sense of belonging where there was none before. It made him realize at a time when race relations in the United States were still fraught, that a black family could feel at home in a white area, and that there could be relationships that were color blind. Over the years, he learned to admire much about the woman across the street, but it was that first spontaneous act of greeting that became, for him, a definitive memory. It broke down a wall of separation and turned strangers into friends. The young man, Stephen Cantor, later became a law professor at Yale and wrote a book about what he learned that day. He called it Civility. The name of the woman, he tells us, was Sarah Kestenbaum, and she died all too young. He adds that it was no coincidence that she was a religious Jew. In the Jewish tradition, he notes, such civility is called chesed, the doing of acts of kindness, which in turn derived from the understanding that human beings are made in the image of God. Civility, he adds, itself may be seen as part of chesed. It does indeed require kindnesses toward our fellow citizens, including the ones who are strangers, and even when it is hard. To this day, he adds, I can close my eyes and feel my tongue, feel on my tongue the smooth, slick sweetness of the cream cheese and jelly sandwiches that I gobbled on that summer afternoon when I discovered how a single act of genuine and unassuming civility can change a life forever. Well, in this week's Torah portion, we read that Sarah, our matriarch, has passed away. And Abraham is getting on in years, and his son Isaac is still unmarried. So Abraham turns to his servant, his most senior servant, the major domo, I guess you might call him, of his estate. And he says, I want you to go back to the old country, and I want you to choose a wife for my son Isaac. I don't want him to marry one of the Canaanite women here. And so Eliezer's the servant's name. He said, well, how will I know who the right woman is? And Abraham says, God will send an emissary before you. We don't know who or what the emissary would be, but we'll find out. We do find out in the following passages. He gets to, along the way, Eliezer says, when I get to where my master Abraham is from, if a young woman comes to me and offers me a little drink of water, because I'll be a stranger there, and then offers to water my camels as well. It will be a sign. It will be a sign. And so he gets to the well at a place called Aram Naharaim. And right in the evening when the young women are bringing or watering the flocks. And there he sees a pretty young girl by the name of Rebecca. And she's carrying a pitcher of water. I guess it was on her shoulder. I don't think it was on her head. I think it was on her shoulder. And she sees a stranger there. And she says, "Would you like a drink?" And he says, "Sure, yes, that would be nice." She says, "I'll also water your camels as well." He knew that was the woman for Isaac, because she demonstrated civility, she demonstrated chesed, an act of kindness, of loving kindness to a stranger. And that's what this Torah portion is all about. That's what this Sarah Kestenbaum, this lady who lived in Washington, D.C., was all about. Hey, a black family moves in. Hey, I know this area might not be so friendly to them. I'm going to be their friend. Those little kids over there, I'm going to bring some cream cheese and jelly sandwiches to them. Maybe sit with them, tell them that they're welcome here. That's what, that little girl was telling my friend Peter. You know, the best part of the service is the end. The end of services, when we get to hug each other, when we get to say hello to a stranger, when we get to say welcome, it's good to see you. That's what chesed is about. And that's what this week's Torah portion teaches us, among many other lessons as well. Now, Maestro. Celebrating birthdays this week, none other than our preschool director, Donna Anton. She's really a wonderful, wonderful addition to our congregation. David Silverstone, Kevin Navarro, David Mandel, Susan Lazarus, Silas Hoover, and Audrey Efros, and Lauren Robbins. Wasn't that long ago we bought mitzvah here? What, 2-3 years ago?
Yeah.
Let's sing happy birthday to them. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. And is anyone celebrating an anniversary? Well, I know of 2 beautiful couples in our congregation who are celebrating birthday or anniversaries this week. Susan and Kenny Badowski, and Barbara and Mark Schultz. So, this is for you. This is for all the lovers out there. This song of love. Who else? Oh, my daughter Abby, absolutely, and Tim. Yes, that was last Saturday. Okay. Thank you, Richie. And now we would like to make a Misha Baruch for anyone in our extended congregational family who might be in need of healing this week. Just raise your hand if yes, Betty, way back there. Don. Marilyn. Okay. Oh, Sandy. Very good. Over here. Oh. Okay. Cantor, I think you have...
Yeah, people call me up during the week. So we're going to say a prayer tonight for Doris Steinberg. I think Betty already said her name. Dr. Stuart Courtney, Mark Schoenfeld, Sharon Berger, Carolyn Rifkin, Kate Van Voorhees, Barry Meyerson, Hudson Dome, Esther Shom, Chana Steinhurst, and Bracha Gofer. Okay, we're on page 371, everybody, in the middle of the page. Mi sheberak Avotenu mikor habraka leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberak imotenu mekor habraka lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We rise for the Elenu on 586.
Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, lateit kudulali yotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kigoye haratzot, velo hosamanu kamishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gahor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anaknu korim, ומשתקבים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
This Shabbat we observe the Yortsides of Bernice Edelman, Betty Backman, Pearl Benwitt, Minnie Bernstein, Gertrude Bilski, Hilda Bloom, Carl Ettinger, Nathan Friedman, Estelle Gerson, Constance Glazer, Samuel Glucksman, Fanny Greenberg, William Gross, Julius Halpern, Joel Harrison, David Hatz, Sylvia Holzer, Dina Lewinter, Ada Moranis, Alexander Mintz, Belle Mosheim, Sarah Nissenberg, Michael O'Donnell, Edith Pollock, Jack Posrow, Harry Price, Herb Ravitz, Saul Rosenfeld, Martin Roseno, Gertrude Rosenthal, Helen Safran, Harry Schinder, Hyman Schlafer, Joseph Schneider, Sidney Shipman, Nathan Siegel, Seymour Simon, Morris Summer, David, Zach, Miriam, and Miriam Silver, Cantor, Manny's late and beloved mother. And as always, we remember the 6 million, and we are presently in the Shloshim period for Selma Nichols, Rosalind Marion, David Bonomo, Michelle Goldberg, Daniel Ben Joseph, and Gloria Lieberman, mother of our dear friend Jody Most, and Judith Ginsburg.
Rabbi, I want to say one thing, if I may. Judith Ginsburg lived next door to a friend of mine. I didn't know her personally, but my friend wrote me all about her. 94 years old. This lady was the only woman from her village in Poland to survive the Holocaust.
Wow.
The only one in her whole village. And she has her whole story on the internet, how when they came to her village, you talk about kindness. There were, believe it or not, there were kind people in the German army. And this nice man, a German soldier, saw her, and he took the Star of David off her neck, and he said, "Go, run. Make a run for it right now."
Wow.
And she ran, and she started running, and her sister was with her, and her sister had 2 little babies, and her sister couldn't run with the babies, so she didn't make it. The whole village got shipped off to Majdanek. Nobody returned. She made it.
Oh, my.
And she had 4 kids. She had 4 children. And there was a beautiful picture that was on the internet of, she was 94 years old, and she still looked great. I mean, these people that made this, they were incredible. And she had about 30 or 40 descendants with her.
Wow.
These little kids, these beautiful girls, they were all with her. So I said we're going to say Kaddish for her.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. The Mourner's Kaddish on 598. Yitgadal, Yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma Devarach Yerutei, Be'amlich Malchutei, B'chayechon, V'yomechon, Ufchayei Dechol Beit Yisrael, Bagalav, Vizman Karib, Romain. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Leolam Olamei Omaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shmei Dekudesha B'richu Le'elam Minko Berchata V'shirata Tushbachata V'nechamata Da'miran V'yalma V'imromein Yehi Shlama Rabbah Min Shemaya V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael b'mromein. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael b'mru. Amen. Okay. Mr. Singer, do you have some announcements?
Rabbi. Yeah. It's good to be back. I've gone for a couple of weeks. You were asking about something that's good. As you know, I'm involved in clinical research studies. Mm-hmm. And I've been doing this almost 40 years. And all sorts of diseases, from diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, hypertension. And, some people suffer terribly from these diseases. But just started doing a new study for people who have migraines. And you may not know this, but migraines get so severe that these people commit suicide.
Ugh.
And for many, many years, all sorts of medications have come out. But one of the oldest medications to treat migraines has been LSD, in small doses, of course. And the only way they were able to give LSD was through drops in the nose. Then they came up with some injections. And so there are medications for relieving migraines, but there's this group that came up going back to LSD again, and with a novel way of providing it in a powder form. And it's inhaled, and they get relief basically immediately, and they stay well. I mean, migraines will return, but we just started this, and we're seeing some very good results, and it's so nice to see these people who have been suffering doing so well. So this is a good thing.
That is some good news.
Anyway, Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
And our music is sponsored by Nori Gluck and Bob O'Reilly. So welcome and thank you. It's great seeing you in town. Flowers and the oneg to go are sponsored by Sisterhood, so thank you to the Sisterhood. And of course, if you wish to sponsor an oneg, flowers, or music, please call the front office. Tomorrow morning, we have Torah study at 9:30. That's followed by the Shabbat morning service on Zoom. Sunday at 9:30 a.m., we have our JLC, followed by the BET Youth. Monday at 7 o'clock p.m., Women's Spirituality group on Zoom. Anything special for that? Was being shown nothing? Nothing, just speakers? Okay, great. That's beautiful. Wednesday at 6 o'clock. Everything you always wanted to know about Judaism, and that's with our own Cantor Manny, and that's on Zoom. Thursday at 9 a.m., we continue with our morning minyan. And if you're in town for the first time, come. It's at 9 o'clock, and we have bagels and coffee. 10:30 a.m., the Sisterhood meeting. So that's back in person. So this is the first Sisterhood meeting that's actually in person. And they get to see if they're real. Let's see what else. Of course, next Friday, again at 7 o'clock, we have Shabbat services in the sanctuary. And of course, for those who are watching at home, you know that's live streamed. November 10th, we have a special Kristallnacht program, and that's via Zoom. That's called Why Did More Jews Survive in Some Countries Than in Others? That's presented by John Uri and Desiree Israel as part of our adult ed programming. So again, that's at November 10th at 6 p.m. on Zoom, and you have that information if you open up your emails. We have, through Social Action, we have Tikkun Olam holiday projects, and that's through Women's Spirituality Group, and they need our help. So they have an annual given project that's underway where they're collecting paper goods for Holocaust survivors, and that's through the cupboard at Jewish Family Services. We are also participating in Cupboard's Thanksgiving and Hanukkah food drives. So all details, lists of needed items are on the Social Action page of our Temple Bethel website. We also, if you notice coming in, we have donation boxes. They're at our entrance. So please, if you have those items, please bring them in and donate. As a reminder, as you all know, we are still following our COVID-19 requirements. We are wearing masks, so please continue to do that. Don't forget, please check your emails and the website for trending. And as Manny said, February 15th, we're going to have a jazz night. So remember that. And actually, there's quite a number of things. We've just had some programming. So you need to start opening up those emails. With COVID diminishing and hopefully small enough, we're going to have quite a number of events going on here. So please open up those emails and review them. You don't want to miss out on some of the program. Good. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. And this Thursday, Allan Rokas, who's going to be called to the Torah toward the end of next month, but he's coming to the Minyan to lay tefillin with me. He wants to learn. And they're going to put out, his family's going to put out a nice spread, but I'd like to have a Minyan there, like a real 10. So I'm looking at Sam. I haven't seen you for a while, Sam. Okay.
And Don.
Don is there, and Betty comes regularly. So, but we're going to have a little, and you know what he's doing for his mitzvah project? He is collecting toys and little foods and treats for animals. He's going to take to a shelter. We have a little box, as you exit the synagogue on the back side there, near the offices. You'll see a little box there.
I saw it.
So
Yep.
buy some stuff and throw it in. I'm going to buy some cans of dog food and cat food. Okay, good. Okay, how about you join us with a...
how about a final hymn?
Okay, a final hymn. You're trying to keep it to an hour now. Okay.
Well...
Okay, go a final hymn, Cantor.
I don't want Nori to be cheated.
Yeah, there you go.
This is from Hamilton. We'll make it quick. and beautiful. Okay? 625. Adon Olam, Hashem Alach, B'terem Ko Yitzir Nivra, Li'et Nasa, B'ketzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra, Li'akarei, B'klot HaKol, Levado Yimlok Nora, Behu Haya, Behu Hove, Behu Yeh Betifara, Adon Olam Hashem Alach, Lai da 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 da, Lai da 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 da, Lai da 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 da, Lai da 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 da, Lai da 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 da, Lai da da, Behu Echad, Ve'ein Sheni Lahamshil Lo. Lahamshilo lehakbira Beli reshit bli taklit Belo haoz v'hamisra V'hu eli v'chai goali V'tzor chevli v'yetzara V'hu nisi umanos li Menat kosi beyom ekra Adon Olam Hashem Malach B'terem Ko Yitzir Nivra Li'et Nasa B'chetzo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra B'yado Avkidruki B'yeti shan v'ya'ira B'imruki Geviyati Adonai li v'lo ira Adon Olam Hashem Alach Lai da 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 Lai da 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 Lai da 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 Lai da 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 Lai da 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 Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Nori, for sponsoring us. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Nori and Bob. Okay, please join us in a motzi. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech olam.
Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom. Oh, here he comes.
Okay, come on up. Oh, I didn't see you there. Didn't see. Okay, now take a piece for you and your grandmother. Oh, yeah, there you go.